The BrainScratch crew begin Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Part 4. Okay, I'm putting these down.
Get off the stage!
Oh, let's see you do better, asshole!
This level is
an angry hipster.
Allez, parlez-vous français?
This level is
French
rated
toast.
This level is rated AO for adults only. As you can tell, it's the Lemon Kingdom. So yeah, we need to ask all the children to leave now.
Yeah, oh man, I hate the bird races. They're always really annoying. First off, that guy looks stupid as fuck. Second off, like, there are shortcuts you basically have to take if you want to win. Now, granted, you don't, like, die if you lose the race, but you're gonna need to get the, you're gonna need to get first place if you want the best beat bonus, which is what you're gonna need if you want, like, to get a gold or platinum in the level, so... yeah. These are the levels. There's quite a few races in the game, but these are the levels that tended to give me the most trouble when I was playing this game again.
I have a question. If you have someone with you, can you just ask them to clap whenever there's bananas around or something?
Yes, but and generally, like, maybe it's just because I don't have very talented family members when it comes to Donkey Kong, but it generally doesn't seem to work out as well as you might think.
Well, does it trigger the clapping shockwave thing without slowing your momentum? Is all I want to know.
Yeah, I think so, because the clapping is a separate thing than the bongos. So it probably would. It's just, again, I haven't tried it in a really long time. I know I did try it at least once, but my brothers were like 5 then, and thus did not have particularly good hand-eye coordination. So.
Well, at least it's something to think about. You could have some sort of quasi co-star co-op going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I think before Trauma Center New Blood came out, people people had done that when they had just one person holding onto the nunchuck and switching tools for them, while the other actually did the surgery bits. And
that's pretty efficient.
Yeah, but
it's almost like an actual hospital.
Now, one thing that I think is massively underrated for this game is its soundtrack. Again, like, Battle for Storm Hill was in Brawl, which is an absolutely gorgeous piece of music, but this song's really good too, and I actually think that this game has the best rendition of the Donkey Kong Country theme, like the da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, and you want to know why? Because it forgets all that other boring build-up crap that goes on for like 20 minutes in every other version of the song, and it just has the fun part.
Well, I like the build-up depending on how the mix handles it.
No, but like every version of the song has like a full like minute and a half of just... And that's really kind of lame. Like, having a little bit, like maybe 10-15 seconds, sure, I can go with that, but having it go on for like 2 minutes isn't build-up, it's just white noise. And it's just...
Well, they have 2 versions of that theme in Brawl, one with and without the build-up, I think, for the reason why you don't like the build-up.
Yeah, the version 2 is way better than the version 1 in Brawl, although I can't pick a favorite version from Smash 4 because there's like 15 of them!
Yeah, that's the one thing I really hated about the DK mixes in Smash 4 was like there's like 11 variations of the same fucking song.
Sakurai, sir, we need to think about what remixes are going to be in Smash Brothers. What do you want from Sonic, sir? No, we don't need anything from Sonic. Just remix the Donkey Kong Country theme like 15 goddamn times. Sakurai, are you sure? I'm in charge here.
You don't need music to make a good game.
Would you like to see my menus? No!
Your combo broke there. Oh,
yeah.
Well.
Yeah, it's always really disappointing, too, because, like, when you're picking up everything, you know it's just scraps as opposed to what you could be, getting before. Like, I do like most of the mini-bosses that they add. Like, they have this random spider thing, they have the armadillo, the pig who throws the coconuts or watermelons or whatever at you shows up an awful lot, but they are relatively short, and I think that they break up the action an awful lot more than the actual bosses do. So I feel like they do their job relatively well.
Yeah.
The only thing that tends to bother me about this particular model of DK and the art direction to go with it is that his hands get huge, and I get that for like combo purposes, but his feet are really small.
Oh yeah. Well, he doesn't ever like kick anybody or anything, which I
Well,
guess.
you say that, but he was sort of punting the bats earlier this part.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
but his feet like didn't grow in any size though.
I'd have to look at the animation again to be sure, but monkeys use their feet just about as much as they use their hands. Like especially if you were thinking in like a combat direction sort of thing. It's not
Really, he's
something
also
that
fucking part woodpecker.
you can get rid of the birds really quickly. They're probably the easiest bosses in the game.
I compared this to Ho-Oh, but you know what it really reminds me of now that I'm thinking about it? Dark Gaia Phoenix.
Who?
Dark Gaia Phoenix?
Yeah.
A little bit.
From from Sonic Unleashed. Okay. Yeah. I've only played that game once, so I was like, wait, what?
He's got this huge sort of buzzard look to him, and he shoots his feathers out as projectiles too.
Huh.
Then he punched him in the face.
Yeah. You were also a big bruising, fuzzy abomination in that game too. So.
Oh, you're talking about like the Phoenix random boss fight from that was like the second boss in the game or whatever.
Yeah, it's actually one of the only bosses that has a cutscene and story explanation for being there.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like Tails was there and shit. Like, oh man, that goes to show how much I remember. I remember Unleashed.
We're getting to it.
Almost.
Like,
Not
weren't you guys
quite.
were planning on doing Unleashed since before I was even here?
We say a lot of things.
Okay, so yeah, if you're not getting Galaxy 2 flashbacks from this level, then I don't even know what to say to you guys. Like the floating water in I forget what galaxy it was, but
Oh, you know what? It's not even just Galaxy 2. 3D World does the same thing in one place, at least one place.
it is the Tokyo develop EAD, I think is the name of the studio that does these games.
Yep.
They all worked on the same thing, so it is not really all that surprising that the fur shading on Donkey Kong is reused for the Queen Bee, and all sorts of other level ideas that get re-implemented for Mario, like they were used in Donkey Kong. Whoosh.
Oh, this is actually, a really interesting looking level, and I'd love to play through this kind of thing with a regular control scheme.
Again, like
Was this the first game to give Donkey Kong that distinctive voice he now has?
Yeah.
It was maybe some of the sports games might have done it, but this is definitely his first the first use of that in a platformer that he's had, because I believe before this the only Donkey Kong game to come out was Donkey Kong 64. So
Yeah.
this is at the very least the first major appearance of it. Because I know that in Donkey Kong 64 he was voiced by Grant Kirkhope, who did the soundtrack. And in Smash Bros.
Really?
They used gorilla sound effects, realistic sounding ones for some.
Yeah, they
reason.
did that, and they did that in Country as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this might be one of the first games to give him the kind of sound effects going for him. I don't know who voices Donkey Kong off the top of my head, but I think it fits for him a lot more than the kind of realistic kind of sounds that they always give him in Smash Brothers, because
Oh yeah, because he's a cartoon gorilla.
yeah, it's just I don't know why they for Bowser is also distracting for me in Smash Brothers, because they make him try to sound like a fire breathing dragon when that's not.
Is gorilla even correct? It is an ape.
I don't know, who cares? Oh wait, why should I have said that? Somebody cares.
Commenters assemble.
Please don't. Seriously, please don't. But I think what I was trying to say before, again, if you can just if you can get into the mindset that you're playing with bongos, this is just some of the best pure fun on the GameCube, I think. Again, it's not anything super complicated, but it is boatloads of fun.
Well, I don't generally go to Nintendo games for super complicated stuff. I go to them for the simple kind of fun, you know? Like, they're best known for stuff like Mario and Legend of Zelda and to some extent Metroid, and apart from Metroid being and Zelda being really explorative, they're not really complicated games in how they're designed.
I guess I was using the bad word. I guess it's not a very grand kind of game, like in the same way that a Zelda or Metroid or Mario Galaxy. Like I wouldn't say that like a 2D Mario game is particularly.
You're talking about scope.
Yeah, scope.
Yeah.
It's a very, again, the plot of this game is Donkey Kong felt like beating the shit out of people. Go, beat the shit. No, don't beat your own. Never mind. But
Donkey Kong beats his own shit.
oh well, he probably does that. Let's be honest.
Just look at that face.
Oh my.
The type of face that beats
the
his own
combo
feces.
die.
I did that on purpose because we're at the very end of the level, and I just did not want to fuck up and lose all of that. So totally
see.
did it on purpose, completely.
Sure.
Now, what is that right there?
Those are the flowers. If you get 100 of them, you get a free 100 points. Beats.
Okay.
Whatever. So
Well, yeah.
you're gonna
that's-
so
yeah,
you're
I think
gonna
I-
want to go for
I think I'll
those.
look
I
for
tend to
those.
like fuck up on them a lot though, so I don't get the bonus very often.
I was looking up more of the differences between the original and the new Play Control version on the Wii. Rather than using beads as health throughout the kingdom, beads only serve as health in boss battles. In standard levels, the player is given 3 hearts as health,
Yeah,
as well
that-
as a life counter.
Yeah. The boss fights are the only ones that'll really ever do damage to you, and that's a thing that happens in the game proper, where like I've never died to a boss, but I've had the boss take me down enough health so that instead of getting a gold, I'd get a silver or something like that. But if the like Donkey Kong has 3 hits, then it would be very possible to die a couple of times in the levels proper. So that's a change that I'm down with. But because it would have made the game have some amount of challenge to it other than getting the highest score possible. But other than that, I just feel like if you're shaking the Wiimotes would be even less precise than shaking the bongos or beating on the bongos. So that's why I generally recommend the GameCube version if you can find it. I doubt it's very expensive.
To be honest, the main problem that I have with shaking Wiimotes for things is that there's always a slight delay.
Yeah, when you're playing with the bongos, like again, I have them right here. Like if you're holding the bongos and you press them very lightly, you can feel that there is an actual button underneath the padded part where you're supposed to press. So there's no input delay on your attacks, other than the fact that if you're trying to like move your hands up off the bongos to hit, it'll take a lot more time to do it. But it's kind of like mashing a button. Mashing a controller for things that you need to, like a Mario Party minigame. You're better off trying to keep your hands as close to the bongos as possible for that sort of thing. But when you're with the Wiimote, like the game has to register that you shook, and it takes a fraction of a second.
Or it's very similar to when you felt like cheating in NES Track and Field if you had the power pad. You just get on your knees and tap on the buttons instead of using your feet. We've all done it, come on. And then we've all played DDR with our hands at one point.
No, I never played with my hands, you scrub. But
You ever played Step Mania?
No, I've never played Stepmania. But I think I've heard of it. That's like DDR on steroids, right?
Well, it's DDR. Well, it's a DDR you can download for your PC where you can add custom songs or you can download
and
song packs.
you use the arrow keys instead. Yeah.
You can use the arrow keys if you want to. If you got a dance pad with USB connection, you can use that.
Okay. I think I've seen like videos of like crazy anime songs on Stepmania. Like trying to do that with a DDR dance pad looks impossible.
Well, I think a lot of them are, yeah.
Well, rhythm games with custom song ads tend to be a bit unreliable in that respect because the main songs that are always in a rhythm game have their notes custom programmed in by the programmers to be exactly where they need to be, so that when you're playing the song, you're playing a rhythm game to the exact rhythm of the song.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the custom song mode where the game just sort of listens to the song, kind of, sort of, and puts in notes where the notes in the song should be accepted tends to miss them, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit more precise for the ones that like give you a real an editor yourself, so you can put the notes where they're supposed to be. But then you get kind of awkward note layouts because fans who like there are some fans who can do really great like custom Guitar Hero or DDR sort of maps, but then there's a lot of people who will just sort of not really know what they're doing and throw notes wherever the hell they feel like it. So
Yeah.
Do you guys ever
It's-
play like rhythm games though? I mean, you guys have had your share with DDR or?
A little bit.
I've only actually ever really sat down to play one rhythm game, and that's Kickbeat.
That sounds familiar.
It's a sort of a kung fu action movie rhythm game sort of thing, and it's a rhythm game that you play with the face buttons on a controller.
That sounds like a Guitar Man, actually.
Yeah, it was actually released on PC of January of last year, and then late last year got its console releases. It's an indie game by the same company that did Zen Pinball 2.
I played Donkey Konga on the GameCube. I did play a fair share of Guitar Hero 3 on the Wii, and I had DDR Mario for the GameCube as well. But again, like, rhythm games aren't really my genre because I'm not very good at it. Like, I could do hard mode on Guitar Hero, but once I tried to get up to expert, it ended up being a little bit much. So, I just sort of stopped there.
What about you, Ryan?
A little bit of DDR, but a little bit of Guitar Hero. That's about it.
I was more of a DDR guy. I haven't played in years, though.
I will say
Good exercise.
I will say that the biggest regretted purchase I ever have is getting Rock Band on the Wii because it costs
just Rock Band, period.
Well, here's the thing. It was Rock Band. I think came out after like the like there was like sort of a chart. Like if there's like a bell curve for the popularity of like rhythm games and Guitar Hero in particular. Like, I think Rock Band came out right after the peak, where they were still really popular, but they were gonna right about when they were going to go downhill real fast. But I still paid like over $200 for the Rock Band set with all the instruments, and I gotta say the Rock Band instrument quality is absolute garbage. Like the guitar sucks, the drums didn't hold up well. It was just ugh. Although I did get a lot of use out of that USB microphone for early YouTube videos.
Oh man, I am so glad that the Guitar Hero craze is behind everyone now, because rhythm games are great and all, but having everyone looking at them, it annoyed me on a level that far surpasses my annoyance at sports games.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
Like I think it's just because a lot like Guitar Hero, like once it got to the point where like when they were on the PS2, you had to buy a new disc because that's how it worked. But as soon as they got onto the Xbox 360, PS3, when DLC was a thing, like there was literally no reason for them to make another game. Just add more tracks to the DLC store, and then you don't have to buy another disc ever again. Whereas, like, you can bullshit new modes and stuff for, like, the sports crap. Like, not that I agree with that, but it's, like, it's a thing, technically, so.